Hello and welcome to Health Marketing 101. My name is Michael Coleman. I'm the owner of Local Health Marketing and we specialise in web and SEO for the allied health space. These last few months I've been getting quite a few emails about Chat GPT, and what I wanted to do was basically put together this video and just run through a few of my thoughts. I think it's really important that we kind of talk about the future and what it holds, and how I believe like AI is really about us unleashing more creativity. I want to discuss about whether Google's actually going to flag us for using a system like Chat GPT to write content and what we can do to get around that. Chat GPT isn't the only AI tool out there. There are hundreds of them, and there are probably going to be thousands if you're going to watch this video in 6 months' time. But what I wanted to do was just show you a cool tool that you can research about, like all the available AI tools out there. Lastly, I went through that myself and plucked out a really nice tool that I think will benefit the health space a lot. And lastly, just kind of want to run through how you guys can potentially use Chat GPT to help with your SEO. So AI is an incredible tool, and I kind of see it as a partner to help us unleash more creativity. We've got so much going on in our lives. We really want to basically leverage AI to free up our mental bandwidth and just give us a different perspective on things, or help us focus on higher leverage tasks. I see AI as a really cool way to test things as well. So any conversations you have going on in your head, you can have that with ChatGPT, and they can, it can give you some quite fascinating responses. So, what does the future hold? I think we're probably 3 years away from it taking over our jobs, but up until that point, I think let's leverage it. Let's in the most effective way, and let's embrace it. Will Google flag the content? So it's really funny. You can read a bunch of publications and they're saying yes, they're going to flag it, and no, they can't flag it. But it's really, I believe, hard for them to really know at this early stage. There are a lot of tools out there that we can, drop in a bunch of content, and it can detect whether it's AI written content, but it's not necessarily 100% of the time going to be accurate. And if we really want to be tricky, there are other tools out there that can kind of spin the content in a way to make it 100% pass those tests 100% of the time. So it really all depends. I saw that Google came out last week and sort of suggested that AI is okay as long as it's useful, as long as the content's accurate. So I think in the health space especially, we've got to be really careful to just go to ChatGPT and say, hey, write me a blog post on how physiotherapy can help with knee recovery, and then just kind of not really read it and post it up. And I know a lot of you aren't going to do that, but that's kind of the warning sign. So I think there is definitely a space where you can use ChatGPT to help you come up with some ideas for, say, some blog posts or whatever. But yeah, I wouldn't sort of do a copy-paste job. Obviously check the information's accurate, and as long as we kind of putting useful content out there, I can't really see Google penalising us for that. If you want to be super cautious, you could probably have a one-liner in there to say, I wrote this article with the aid of ChatGPT, and I don't think as a user, as someone stumbling across that article, we're going to say, oh, this is written by ChatGPT, I'm not reading it. So that's the game I'd play. The other really interesting thing about Google is they've actually invested billions of dollars launching their own tool. When they launched, it actually had a little blunder, and as a result, they lost billions of dollars off their market share price. So it's just a really interesting space at the moment. There's a lot of talk that a tool like Chat GPT might even, kill Google altogether. So I think Google are going to have to play nicely with us, SEOers that are going to leverage Chat GPT. But yeah, I can't really see it being a massive red flag. And like all things in SEO, we've got to really really test the concepts that we're trying out. What I wanted to kind of touch on now and in a lot more depth is that ChatGPT is obviously the most common AI tool. It's definitely not the first. This AI technology has actually been around for a few years. Where they're at now is they've created GPT-3 and ChatGPT leverages that GPT-3 prototype, and the prototype is really just information or data that's up, I think it's up until 2021 of info, so it's not like completely up to date, but I think what the concept behind ChatGPT is getting ready to launch GPT-4, which is going to be data in real time, and they're just sort of gathering information from like us users engaging with it. So they're getting that feedback. It's all machine learning. So what that means is as we're using it, the tool's actually learning itself, which is kind of mind-blowing. But so I think once GPT-4 hits the market, then, we're going to really see AI and ChatGPT take off. So it's a really good time to start testing it. This tool I wanted to show you here is Futurepedia. So I recommend just sort of scrolling through all these kind of AI tools, and you can kind of read the quick description here, but there are already hundreds of them, and I was even looking like a month ago, and there are even more tools. But yeah, you can come through here and just have a read of what people are up to. It gives you a really good perspective of where the GPT or AI is heading. One awesome tool I came across was Iris AI, and what they've done is created a platform that you can actually put your research papers into, and it's kind of got a smart search, smart filtering, and help you kind of analyze the data that you're putting in there. So I think this is a really cool tool for practitioners like yourselves to kind of, if there's like a journal on, say, headaches that you want to read, and it's 30 pages long, or however long these things are, and you just don't have the time to go through it, or you've read it and you just want a different perspective, leverage a tool like this, and you can kind of really use AI to in the most effective way, right, to help you learn from these papers. Lastly, I just wanted to quickly jump in and show you an example of ChatGPT and how it works. So a lot of people I see going out there and just saying, write an article on how physiotherapy can help knee, ACL recovery. And so we kind of get this long-winded, it's going to write out a response for us, and a lot of people are kind of copy and pasting it into, like a blog, if you will. Obviously, like I said earlier, you want to read through this, or you want to, take some like guidance from it. If you do want to go down that path, I love the idea of creating prompts for ChatGPT. So what you want to do is say to them, you are a professional physiotherapist who specialises in knee physio recovery. You want to write an article outlining the best steps to take after your patients have had surgery. Your target market are athletes, and athletes need to be able to have get back into their sport within up to 12 months. What headlines would you suggest for a blog post? And doing stuff like this. So what it's going to do is you're kind of setting parameters around, explaining to them that they are a professional physiotherapist and they specialise at, put new, but it should be knee pain. And you can even write more here. So you could write, we've got our target market in here, but you also could say, okay, here's what you believe, and here are the 3 things that you believe about knee recovery as an example. And then you could sort of say to it, other stuff that, we want to, and also sort of suggest that, the aim of this article is to give an unbiased opinion about, knee physio recovery, and then also, encourage people to come into the clinic for our free assessment, as an example. And then the more prompts you give it, then it's going to, sway it. You could also even tell it, I want to talk with this tone and in this writing style, and it absolutely does that as well. What I've also done here is just created a prompt that I find really useful for improving SEO. And like I said before, or a bit earlier, is we really want to test this, test out, the impact that Chat GPT can have on SEO. So I think a great place to start is maybe to look for an article that you've written maybe a couple years ago. It might not be ranking that well, and let's see if we can improve on that article. I really love this concept in SEO in general, is that, we spend all this time and effort writing these blog posts. No one, seems to ever read it. I hear a lot of people getting frustrated, but maybe there's just not enough information on that post that Google's ranking you for. So coming back to the post, 3 months later, 6 months later, a year later, even 2 years later, it doesn't really matter. You want to add some more content. So what I've done here is created a prompt to help us expand on an article that we've written. So we've written a post, it's on your website, and the prompt is, "Hi ChatGPT, can you review this article?" And then I've put in the URL of that article and provide suggestions for expanding it. Specifically, you identify areas where the article could benefit from additional information or content, and suggest resources or research that could be used to support those points. So I think this is really interesting idea in the health space, because they might say something, ChatGPT might return a block of content that might actually have a really interesting point, but it's just written really poorly, or it's just really off the mark. But they can actually tell you where they got that information from, we can leverage that. Go read that article ourselves and interpret it to help us write the article. Just wanted to add something and suggest resources in Australia. Let's see what happens here. Or research that could be supported points. The intended audience is athletes, such as long distance runners. So I'm just sort of talking about this article's on shin splints here, that continually get shin splint pain. The purpose of the article is that athletes will get a broad spectrum of how to effectively reduce, blah, 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 and recover and get them back on track. So let's see what ChatGPT give us. And of course, as we're kind of going through this, information, we might have more prompts to say in here. So we can say to it, avoid the words cure, specialise, experts, sports physiotherapy as an example, because we want to abide by the ARPA rules. And then what you'll do is you'll just continuously evolve this. And what I've done is I've saved a bunch of prompts. This is one of them, and I'll kind of come back and reiterate this prompt and get it to a point that I know is going to help save me time and be a bit more effective. So I'm obviously not a physiotherapist, so I can't really tell you if this information is accurate, but I do know that clients that have tested it are kind of blown away by the accuracy. But I guess what this is doing now is, telling us to provide more information about the causes of shin splints. I'm not going to read all this, which is a really great point. Discuss the different types of shin splints, provide more detail about the recommended treatments, discuss the importance of rest and recovery. And these are all really a great direction that we can take this blog article in. And then what they've done here is just listed out the resources. They're in Australia. That's actually amazing. And then we can go and actually research that ourselves. So, here we go. We've just got our article that had maybe 800 words, had 0 readers. Now we can go back and we can kind of write an article. So, you can even go back and say, can you write 250 words on point number 1 and give me a heading 2. And so again, I can't tell you if it's accurate, but just reading this, it seems pretty good. So yeah, just to recap on how I Chat GPT. I don't know if I feel that confident to write home pages, about pages, service pages yet with it. I just don't know the implications that's going to have on SEO. But I think where we can start testing it is with older blog posts and, what you may have had as 800 words. Let's try get that to 1,500 words as an example and see if we can push that up the rankings. So yeah, that's just my little video of how I sort of see AI. This is obviously an evolving topic, and I'm sure in a couple of weeks' time we're probably going to learn a hell of a lot more than we knew now. But yeah, I think it's a game of testing and just seeing how that works for you. I'm really interested to get your feedback on Iris and just see if that's something that's been really useful. And if you've got any questions or any feedback, drop it in the comments below or shoot me an email at michael@localhealthmarketing.com.au. Always willing to meet people in the space. Thanks so much.